What's up? Welcome back to the Moon Lagoon. I got a little bit of the moon in my background, so I feel proud of myself today. So it is currently like snowing, like Krampus amounts of snow outside right now, and I couldn't go to work because my car is too close to the ground, and I just need to get another car, honestly. But since I couldn't go to work today, I thought, why don't I make a video about something on my astrology page or my astrology playlist, because I haven't been on there in a while, and that's only because I really want to like take my time and really do like really in-depth ones for the Venus and the Mars signs, because I know people are probably going to look at those a lot because that's about love and sex and stuff. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about Scorpios. Scorpios. Well, if you don't know, there are 12 signs in the zodiac wheel, and Scorpio is the 8th sign in the zodiac wheel, right? 6, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're the 8th sign. Hold on. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra. Oh, it is. Okay. And they rule the 8th house. Why did I think it was the 10th house? Anyway, so Scorpio is the 8th sign in the zodiac. They rule the 8th house, which is about sex, death, regeneration, rebirth, transformation, taxes, randomly. But my personal opinion on Scorpios. Okay, so I don't talk a lot about my astrological placement, but I am 8th house dominant, and I have an 8th house stellium, and I am Pluto dominant and Scorpio dominant. So I understand the world of Scorpios, or like I notice that I run into a lot of Scorpio energy in my life. So my opinion of Scorpios might be a little different than someone who just hears the stereotypes. Most people hear, oh, when you hear Scorpio, it's like, oh, they're probably really good in bed, or oh, they're probably crazy, oh, they're gonna kill me, oh, I can't, they're too intense, oh, this, oh, that. Most of the time, there's a very like one direction or another reaction to Scorpios. And in my experience, you never know what you're gonna get. It's kind of like Aquariuses, where each one is very like individual. Scorpios all have the same type of energy, but each of them is gonna have really specific areas where you're gonna see more passion or more hiddenness in themselves. There's gonna be different areas where there's things that they're above the surface about and things that they're below the surface about. So I like have not a love-hate relationship with Scorpios, but more like a love-confusion relationship with Scorpios. And when I say this, I mean like, what's wrong with my, okay, I don't wear makeup, but I put on some lip gloss, and I'm already having issues with this lip gloss. I just don't need to put anything on my face, apparently. Anyway, so I have been attracted to Scorpio energy for a very long time. Luckily you can't hear that because I'm going to put music in this video. I have been attracted to Scorpio energy for a really long time, and it started more in like not knowing what Scorpio energy, like who a Scorpio was, but more just the energy that comes with it. So like I'd be watching a movie and it'd be like the typical guy who's quiet and mysterious, but he feels like he's got a lot going on and you want to know, and they're really passionate when they do talk, and everything's real deep and real and like touching on your nerves and just like you feel alive kind of thing. So I was always attracted to that kind of energy in movies, and then I started getting attracted to certain actors and certain singers, and I would be like, oh my gosh, I love this energy. Who is this person? And then I would go to look them up, and they'd be a Scorpio, and I was like, okay, interesting. And the only reason that I'm even making this video right now is because I'm actually gonna link it, because everyone on the planet needs to watch this. There's this guy named Tamino who did a cover of Tame Impala's Let It Happen, which is also like one of my tattoos, and I was like, okay, let me see how this cover goes, you never know. And his energy was just beautiful, and I was like, ooh, I need to find out. Every time I really like someone's energy, I'm really curious about someone's energy, I always look up their birthday. So I look up his birthday, playing his video game downstairs and he gets real mad when he loses. So I looked up his birthday and it was October 24th, which is a Scorpio, and I literally like flew myself onto the ground. I'm like, why am I always attracted to Scorpios? Why? I don't get it. Even when I don't, it's not like someone says they're a Scorpio and then I'm like, ooh, it's like I don't know. And then I look it up and they are. And I'm just like, I'm so done with Scorpio energy. Like literally like the last, oh God, there is so much Scorpio energy in my life. And I'm not complaining. It's not a bad thing. Scorpios are I consider them the most interesting sign on the zodiac wheel, and I talked a little bit about this in just like my general overall video about astrology signs, but they are like the only sign that has 3 versions that they will evolve to, or like they start off as the Scorpion and then they evolve up to the Phoenix or the Eagle. It depends on which one you're thinking of. But they are always like, I feel like Scorpios come into this world, like I feel like Scorpios, if you believe in reincarnation, have already lived so many lives that have made them already so wise and understanding of like the light and dark, like the shadow light aspects of life, that they come in already prepared for like some bullshit. Like I've never met a Scorpio who hasn't had drama, or not even drama, but just like really like touching things happen to them, like really amazing things or really horrible things, but most of the time their childhood isn't that awesome, or it's not like, oh, you know, we had my mom, dad, 2 kids, and a dog, and we lived on this street where everyone waved at each other and we all ate dinner together and laughed and blah blah blah. It's never like that. No Scorpio I've ever met has had that traditional setup for the family dynamic, and it's almost like I feel like Scorpios are placed into these scenarios because spirit, or like, you know, their guides know that people who are Scorpios, they're chosen to become a Scorpio in this lifetime because they know that those people can handle it. They know that those people are going to be able to evolve from those situations and become stronger. Scorpios can do literally anything they want. They have the connection to the underworld, where they can take all this shit that's happening, bring it down there, go over it, ruminate over it, reflect on it, learn from it, tweak it, like kind of like analyzing it. They still feel very deeply, but they're also able to like treat whatever trauma or pain or whatever shit they're going through as like their teacher, and they're like they just know that they're the student of this experience, and then they take that, they burn themselves down to ash, and they come back up better. And some people can't handle that stuff. Some people aren't fit for those situations in life that you're just like, what, somebody went through that? If that was me, I would never be able, like, Scorpios just are like, that's just the wavelength that my life is on. And I'm not trying to say this to say like Scorpios are always just gonna have like horrible shit happening in their lives, or always just something like really chaotic. But when those things do happen, it's supposed to be a signal from spirit, like, okay, another lesson is up. You're leveling up again. And Scorpios have so many level ups in one lifetime that I honestly like just really admire that inner drive, that inner passion, that inner verve to keep going. Because a lot of people don't keep going, and they give up and they become complacent, or they become super depressed. And Scorpios can feel this way anyway, but they don't stay there. They're going to become stronger from that scenario. And so just the whole energy of Scorpio being able to transform this pain, transform things that have happened to them into something that they can now take to make themselves better is really beautiful to me. And I think that I subconsciously, because I have the 8th house stellium, the Scorpio, you know, dominance and Pluto dominance, that I just kind of understand that energy, or like, you know, it's a reflection to me, or something that I know I can learn from. And so I feel like I attract a lot of Scorpios, or I'm attracted to a lot of Scorpio energy, because it helps me to also transform myself as well. Now, most people don't like, or like there are some stereotypes about Scorpios that people don't like, which is like Scorpios are clingy, Scorpios are possessive, they are domineering, they're mistrusting. And yes, they can be those things, but what I always try to tell people when you are looking at astrology is, when you read these things about a certain sign, you have to understand that there is a low evolved version of a sign and a high evolved version of a sign. Someone who hasn't learned lessons in their life and is choosing to stay in a low vibrational energy, and someone who is learning from these things and being like, wow, I don't have to be like that. I can become better than that. And instead of it being like, oh, they're super possessive, it's like, oh, they really care about my well-being and they want to make sure I'm safe. Or instead of being really mistrusting, oh, I'm really selective about who I let into my life and who I choose to trust. Versus like not trusting anyone, you're just smart about who you trust. That's how you can tell the difference between if a Scorpio is like not a Scorpio need to be dealing with, or a Scorpio that's really going to help teach you way more than you ever could from most other signs, especially when it comes to like really fueling yourself, or really like starting to turn the gears into like, okay, I'm really in this life. I'm really living this life. What do I want to do with it? Am I doing what I want to do with it? Where am I going? What do I care about? What am I passionate about? What drives me? A Scorpio is going to help you kind of reflect on that without even saying that. I am just confused. Like, that's a little bit about Scorpio energy. They're very passionate. They're very loving. They're very deep. They like to have deep talks. They're not going to be that person who's having those like, oh, did you read the news? Well, if they talk about the news, it's going to be something crazy. But it's not like, oh, did you hear about what this person said about this? And did you hear about this celebrity? And blah, blah, blah. Like, they're going to be talking about stuff that's like deeply touching, or stuff that has really deeply affected them, or they want to know about things that have deeply affected you, what you think about like overall large picture things. A lot of people aren't always ready for this because Scorpios have very intense eye contact or very intense stare, and that's because they've seen shit, not just in this life but in many lives, and that's how they gauge you. That's how they understand you. They are from a soul place, so they're going to look into your soul. They're trying to figure out what you're all about and what you're really here for, and see where you're at as far as the people that they want to associate with. So when they're looking at you like that, don't be afraid. I mean, it can be kind of like too much or overwhelming, but I think that that's a good feeling. I think that you should push into feelings like that, which is probably why I like Scorpio energy so much. But I also, like I said, sometimes I'm confused about why I'm always like running into it. Like, yeah, I like it, but damn, like literally every time I'm like, ooh, this person's this, ooh, this person's that, ooh, I need to look into them, and then they're a Scorpio, I'm like, am I just gonna like always just naturally be attracted to Scorpio energy? And you can really tell, like literally just go on to like astro.com, under like the sun sign, you can search by sun signs, just go to Scorpio and look at all the people, and I guarantee you'll be like, oh yeah, you can see it in all of them. It's the eyes. The eyes, the mystery that envelops Scorpios. And you're never gonna meet someone who truly like can deeply understand everything that you're feeling. No one's gonna be able to understand that depth of emotion and pain and love like a Scorpio can. They feel the deepest part of pain and the deepest part of love. Anyway, so I love Scorpios, I do, and they're amazing people, and they're so strong, and they're so dynamic and powerful, and just stronger in more ways than people can imagine. And most people associate emotions with weakness or feeling things with weakness, but I honestly feel like feeling as deeply as you can is one of the strongest things you can do for yourself, because when you're actually feeling that and reflecting on it, you can grow so much from that and understand the deepness of life so much more because of that. I just feel like I'm just tired of running into them though, not gonna lie. Like, I love the energy, but being completely surrounded by them, I'm just like, am I missing a lesson? Am I supposed to be learning something that I'm not learning, and that's why they keep popping up, or what? One of my friends actually just told me she kept running into Leos and stuff recently, and usually I was like, well, no, that means there's a lesson presented there. You're supposed to be learning something about that, what they represent as far as energy. And Scorpios represent transformation, they represent change, they represent passion and power and love and death. And so I feel like I have been reflecting on a lot of those topics since I've made a lot of changes in my life, and I have been trying to transform from who I used to be and the things that I used to like live by, and who I want to be now, and what I'm really trying to set into my reality and affirm and really speak that truth. But this isn't about me. This is about Scorpio. I think that if you have an aversion to Scorpios, or if you feel like they're too much for you, or you can't handle their energy, or you don't like someone who's possessive or controlling, like I said, really reflect on like what kind of Scorpio you're dealing with, because there are some Scorpios I've met where I was like, okay, yeah, clearly not healthy, clearly on the negative just a completely shadowy side of Scorpio. And then I've met some Scorpios that like I'm working with now who are like the best person to go to for advice, the person who's going to bring you the deepest and wisest answer or like advice for your question, because they're working from a place of both deep knowledge and from deep emotion. And that's the best combination in my opinion, as far as like really getting something that's going to help you make a change, instead of just like, if you're just trying to talk about your problems and not find a solution, don't go to a Scorpio, because a Scorpio doesn't want to hear that. A Scorpio is like there to change you. They're there to help you change. They're there to help you transform, because that's what they do. I don't even really know where I'm going with this video. I kind of just like, I feel like Scorpios can be very misunderstood, and I understand their energy. I don't know why I'm still like always bringing it into my life, but I guess I'll figure that out at some point. I have been involved with Scorpio, and it was very deep, very life-changing. And when I say life-changing, that doesn't always mean that it's going to be for like the way that you expect it to be, because they can change your life in a way where you're no longer with them. They can change your life in a way where you want to be with them for the rest of your life. Like, there's just going to be change happening. There's going to be like strong dynamic changes happening, and I learned a lot about myself through being with that Scorpio. I understood the depth of emotions that they can feel, how much is hiding underneath, how much really is being reflected on that you don't ever see. Seeing them at their best is amazing, and honestly feels like you're watching someone who is supernatural. And I've seen them at their worst, where you're like, holy shit, like the fires are burning from inside. And that's just when you know they're about to transform, hopefully. Hopefully that means they're about to turn into ash and transform. But being with him was definitely good for me, and I learned a lot about myself. And when you're in a relationship with a Scorpio, that's something that's going to happen. You're not going to go out unscathed, okay? You're going to be changed. You're going to be transformed. And I honestly think it's always for the better if you're willing to learn the lessons from it. You will probably never be loved or cared for as deeply as you will be by Scorpio energy, because when they commit to something, they commit. When they're loyal, they're loyal. When they tell you something, they mean it. They don't play that game about, oh, I'm saying this because it sounds nice. When they're telling you something, they literally mean it. Don't think that they're doing niceties. They don't play that. For them, an emotional connection or like a romantic connection is very deep to them. It is very spiritual in a sense to them, and it's not like, you know, everyone's always talking about, oh, they're about sex, oh, they're about sex. That's not what it is. For them, yes, sex is involved, but it's what the sex can bring, which is that deep soul connection. It is that deep understanding and knowledge of another person on every level, and being able to share in that with one another in a way that you won't be able to share with anyone else. It's supposed to be deeply intimate, which is why either you will meet one of the Scorpios who just likes to sleep around, but they're not looking for that deep connection. They're just looking for the sexual aspect. But if you're in a relationship with them and you're sharing in that energy with them, that is it's serious to them. That's not a joke. And when they do that, they mean it. And everything that they're doing is with an intention. So just be prepared for that. It can be an intense energy to be involved with, but it's, in my opinion, I like it and I can handle it. Not everyone can handle that. Some people don't want that. So be aware if there's a lot of Scorpio placements in someone's birth chart. If you're trying to get to know somebody and you're like, oh, look at this Scorpio, this and that. If there's a lot and you don't want that, don't do it. You're just gonna waste their time and your time. But if you're looking for something like that, you want to commit to an energy like that, go for it. And hopefully you click on that video that I linked with that Tamino guy doing that cover of Let It Happen, because that's Scorpio energy right there. And I guarantee you, watch that video and then come back here and put in the comments, oh my gosh, yes, I see it. That's Scorpio energy. And even like there's actually a lot of good videos like Scorpio compilations, which I actually might try and make one, but I don't know if I'm that edit friendly yet, because I'm still using the very simple editing software, because I'm working on those funds, okay? I'm gonna get there. This is not Italian. This is not an Italian gesture. This is a manifesting mudra. So I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna have that editing software at some point. But yeah, watch that, comment, tell me what you think about Scorpios, if you like their energy, if you don't like their energy, if you attract it or are attracted to it. if you can sense it when it's around, or like the experiences you've had with Scorpios, because I've always really enjoyed the interactions that I've had with Scorpios, and the conversations have always been deep and meaningful, and I've always learned a lot from them, and about myself and about them and about real life, in my opinion. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, since it's snowing like crazy outside and all I have to do is edit videos and read. I'm gonna be reading some books today. Yay, I can read books. Okay, so anyway, alright, well, I will see you guys next time on the Moon Lagoon. Thank you for watching. I hope you take some time to look into Scorpio energy if you want to change and transform your life, or maybe just like look up some Scorpio videos, because trust me, it's intense. Okay. Anyway, okay. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you are. I'll see you guys next time. Peace and love.